Welcome back, guys. Hope you're doing well. Diego, how are you doing, man? I know Luca's been putting up some crazy numbers lately. Um,
Yeah.
Still keeping an eye on him, or what was your weekend like? Talk me through all of
Uh,
it.
my weekend, my weekend was busy. I had a lot of stuff to do. Oh, I watched the Pistons game. I was at the Pistons game on Saturday. That was fun to
I saw
watch.
that.
It was honestly, it felt like a chill game. Like it was close at times at the start, but it was never really like too worried that the Bucks would win. But Kevin Porter Jr. went off. That was kind of surprising. It wasn't that cold, but I was out and about around there by LCA before. That was pretty fun. Did some Christmas stuff with the girlfriend the day after, and watching a little basketball here and there. Oh, I watched Duke beat Michigan State. That was insane. Illinois beat Tennessee. I didn't get to watch that, but yeah, good amount of basketball. Busy with some homework for studying for a final tomorrow, but after tomorrow, I'm free. I'm loose, and I'm excited to do more basketball stuff. So yeah, I'll be doing that. It's kind of how it's going. I haven't played basketball in a minute. We're gonna play on Friday. I'm really excited. So yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I overslept Monday. Otherwise, I would have done my pickup runs.
yeah,
Um, I I've been the thing that I love playing with pickup now is like I just run. Like
hmm,
even if my guy shoots it, I just book it to the other side because
yeah,
oftentimes I'm like found all alone, like in transition.
yeah,
I'm not cherry picking because I'm still playing defense. Um, but I find that like I find my speed better on the court when I do that. And now I'm starting to be
mm,
like, okay, how do I use my speed doing the half court, like on different cuts and stuff like that? So I'm moving a lot without the ball. The
yep,
tricky part is now I need to try and integrate my shot with it, and it's not fully there yet. So um, pretty excited about that. Still ramping up from the vacation at work, but yeah, glad to hear you're doing well. Sounds like you got a lot of lively things going on in your life with getting to
yeah,
see the Pistons game and lots to look forward to. They're having a great season. I saw this one play where
exactly.
like Cade just weaves through like all five Hawks defenders at once, hits a
Yep.
reverse layup, and I'm like, you knew it was in him the entire time, but what he's doing is just ridiculous. So
Yeah, I wanted to see a play like that on Saturday, but the game wasn't really close enough for that to happen. But it was a good game. It was fun to watch, and
imagine saying that about the Pistons.
exactly.
You weren't expecting it from a franchise like that for so long. So good to them
No.
for turning it
Yep.
around.
Yep. Good for them. They're cooking. Love it out here. I got my back to work shirt on today. I don't know. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I got it from the playoff game. I had one on my seat, and then there, I guess whoever was sitting behind me or something left their shirt, took that one. So I just use them as gym shirts. Pretty lit, but yeah.
Thief. You caught him in 4K, guys. Person who lost their shirt, you know who the culprit is. Find them.
Exactly.
Make
Yep.
them pay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about different concepts. We have a lot in store today. So we're gonna go into a film study deep dive.
Yep.
Start off as usual. Cuts for the Knicks offense. Didn't think I would put those two things together.
Hmm.
Think about this team from years past in the Tom Thibodeau era. It's literally
True.
ball centric with the point guard. This year they make a change to go to Mike Brown. Let's see how they do on this action here. So basically, ball starts out on the right wing here, passing to Kale, swing to Ananobi, corner
Yep.
three. But I think the big thing to look at here is you have almost like a floppy action in the baseline between Jordan Clarkson, who's just jogging, goes into his cut on one baseline. Then you have Ananobi coming on the other, but he stops at the corner three.
Yeah.
Usually in the floppy action, you see them go to opposite wings, and that's not really happening. But allows Mitchell Robinson to get to his spot. It spaces out Clarkson, and it gives Ananobi an in rhythm 1-2 catch and shoot three. So like this action, a little bit more fast paced, and
Mhm.
look at who's on the lineup. No
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson, no Carl Anthony Towns. This is a great sign for the Knicks if you're getting these kinds of results and playing unselfishly like this.
Yeah. I mean, this is. My opinion is how you play the game. Everyone is moving, and I love the fact that is it Mikhail that gets the assist. The fact that he's kind of late pulling up helps make this play happen, and it just goes into the spacing more. And OG kind of, I don't know if this was a play for him or he just reads that. Yeah, I think it's Noah Penda gets his guy gets screened by another Magic defender, Anthony Black. So yeah, it's just nice to see. And right, that's the thing. You don't need one guy to hold the ball the whole time to be a good offense. The ball moves quicker than the man, and as we see, just two quick passes, boom, boom, touch pass especially really nice. So yeah, I love looking at this and good change up from Mike Brown. He knows what to do offensively.
And I think the new thing you see here is like look how quickly the ball moves laterally on the opposite side of the
Mhm.
court. Defenders barely have time to react. Like Bane just gets his head around when the pass is already in the corner.
Yep.
That's ridiculous. By the
Yeah,
way, crazy cheap shot by Bane to just like
bro,
dart that ball. Like,
bro.
you see that? That was
I saw
insane.
that live. I was like, why did he do like I was really explaining to my girlfriend, like, that's a valid play if you're falling out of bounds and you want to keep the ball. But Bane could have turned around and just made a fast break of his own if he wouldn't have had the advantage. But it just made no sense. I want him to be punished more severely, but it's just weird. It's not like terrible. It's just really weird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you could literally see Ananobi yell like, "Why would you do that, man? Like, what the
yeah,
heck?" So,
yeah. I guess
um,
last
anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
one last thing I want to see here is the fact that this happens, Bane gets turned around is because Tyler Cole like uses the advantage of the screen to get into the 3 point line. Maybe not in the paint, but makes Desmond Bane have to do something, and that opens up uh that gap. So it just tells you, yeah, we like to shoot a lot of threes, but it's not just everyone standing around the 3 point line and passing it around. It's creating advantages and getting guys to turn. That's what it's all about.
Again, how you like Diego said, how you create your threes matters. You still have to establish like paint and drive threats
Mhm.
in order to create them. So, yeah, pretty simple. Like just enough to bait the defender, and then you could start to change the angles. So, good
Yeah,
observation there. Alrighty, I'm gonna quickly jump over here. Um, Another
yeah,
Jalen Johnson appreciation post. We'll kind of dive through his highlights here. 8 minutes
yeah.
long, so I'll kind of lead us in the background. But
Mhm.
I think the big thing that stands out is how much he's evolved as a playmaker throughout his career. Look at that touch
Yep.
pass.
It's
Just ridiculous.
crazy. I think the biggest thing is it just points to the fact of how we've seen this explosion of playmaking forwards, wings, Jalen Johnson. I mean, you could say Luka Doncic. He plays the point guard, but he's as big as a wing. Cade Cunningham, just this proliferation of guys like that. And it makes sense. The taller you are, the more open these passing windows are, the harder it is to double you. And the big thing is you get the rebound, you run, and you can get so many assists in transition. Just shows how good he is, and that I love him. I think he's an all star for sure.
I think just the way he's able to throw the passes in rhythm
Hmm.
is really really impressive. You're not seeing him hitch. He's throwing them in stride. Like it, it feels like he's a quarterback, like just
Yep.
on the court. And I, as a person who loves to play like this in the basketball court, not nearly as well. Like
Yeah.
this is just amazing to see how unselfish he is and how he's recognizing. Look at that, like dime. Like
Yep.
he clearly was looking at the top of the key and just saw the advantage, but like he's looking for shots to be created. He's not necessarily looking for himself. He can throw up absurd numbers, but this is just great to see. So appreciation
Yep.
goes for him.
And again, the whole point of the game is to get an advantage, and usually by driving is get some help guy to not just your top C ball C man. And when a guy gets in the paint, you start staring at the ball because why wouldn't you? That's what the game's all about. That leaves the guy wide open. That's what he's doing here. Wide open to cut, wide open to hit a three. It's really nice. And the only nitpick I have is most of these passes, I think he's making with his right hand. Would be nice if he could hit both of them left-handed. I know I saw one in there, but still, that's like I said, complete nitpick. And this brings up the question: do the Hawks need Trey Young? He's been out for about 10 games, I think, and they've been playing just fine. And I think it's very interesting to see what that means for an extension that the Hawks haven't made yet. So
If you
yeah,
ask me, I don't think so.
yeah,
I really
that's
don't. Like maybe like a stronger defensive oriented point guard just because you have a
yep.
playmaker like this. Or like a scoring first shooting guard that's really a point guard. Like I'm thinking of like a Jamal Murray type.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what you're looking for if you're um like I think Donovan Mitchell would be a great fit on the Hawks.
Yeah,
Like as far as the architect, obviously like the talent that would take a lot to get him,
yeah,
but like that's the type of player you want on the team. But then also like if you have a guy like Jalen Suggs, like that would be a great fit for this Hawks team. Like that's
yeah,
perfect because right now their team identity is with their length and with their shot creation and stuff. They can get any look they want. So I honestly I like the Jalen Suggs fit more than anything on this team.
yep.
That's just
No, that's awesome, and I think that's a big thing that I've heard a lot, especially in the Hoop Collective podcast, of how what is the least valuable player in the league right now? It's a guard who can score but can't play that great of defense and is really just there to be a scorer facilitator. You can find those
definitely
guys anywhere, really. They're very common. So it's not as valuable as, say, a Jalen Johnson, a guy who can also defend, who can play multiple positions. And that's what the Hawks have. Risa Shea, Dyson Daniels, Nikhil Alexander Walker. They have a bunch of guys, Onyeka Okongwu, a bunch of guys that can play multiple positions, shoot threes, and yeah, I love this Hawks team. And as Zach Lowe would say, "Coco," for the Hawks, it's great. They could be good, and we'll talk about them later with some potential spicy moves they can make.
that's one location. Yeah. Um, role player highlights. Walter Clayton. Always loved him in Florida.
Yeah,
Um, was waiting to see when he took his time to shine on Utah. He's seemingly doing it. Nice floater, bang, got it. Let's see how he
yeah,
does on the ball screen. That's too much space, my guy. Excellent shot. Pulling up for three, two defenders approaching, don't matter. Just the confidence he's playing with right now, the last
hmm,
three games, that's exactly what you want to see. Like again,
yep,
not outward stats, but for a role player averaging almost 15 points a game on 57%
really,
shooting from the field goal range and 43% from 3 point, that's exactly what you want out of a role player. So Utah, not a lot to talk about, but Walter Clayton, like you got a future here. So
yep.
um, very impressive to see.
One thing I love seeing about him is just he's so calm. He's not rushed at all, and just he moves so smoothly on the court. Like there's no problem with his mechanics at all. He's just smooth as silk, and I really enjoyed watching that. I honestly had no idea he dropped 20, so I appreciate you kind of getting me away from casual tendencies. You know?
Just a casual man, that's crazy. But I bet you Shea didn't play in the fourth quarter in this game,
Oh,
so
for sure.
it's kind of crazy. Um, like how the Thunder are doing, man. It's they're gonna win 74 games a year. I feel like if everybody stays healthy.
It's definitely possible. And
Knock on wood.
yeah, speaking about Florida and Walter Clayton winning the national championship next or last year, Florida currently playing UConn, so it's a big game. I'm telling you, these college games have been insane recently. So yeah,
I we got to get into the draft talk at some point. I don't
yeah,
know when that's got to happen. Maybe we should do it in March, in peak
yeah.
season. But
Whoa,
um,
yeah, I'm
it's
down.
it's gonna be a loaded draft class so far. So I'm
Cam
excited.
Boozer, everyone learn about Cam Boozer. He's really good. I watched him on Saturday. He looks like a grown man at like 18, 19 years old, and yeah, and his shot is pretty good. He made a bunch of threes, so yeah,
All right.
that's gonna
I
happen.
haven't watched him, so I got to put him on my list. I'll be
Yeah,
watching with you guys.
lock in,
All right.
lock in.
Pat Spencer, guy another who's really good. Um, Steve Kerr
Yeah,
admitted he had to play him more often, so we'll just enjoy some of these ball screen actions.
yep.
Top of key. No, I don't like this against my Bulls. Good shot
Stop that.
creation behind somebody's
Yeah,
back. Okay.
against the
Pull up,
Thunder. Yeah. Yo,
turn around, spin.
that
Again,
low key.
you look at the decisiveness. Like maybe on some of the pull ups he has a little bit of a hesitation, but that was a lot more better. Like that was a lot better.
Smooth.
Um, back to the basket. Again, playing with confidence, easily, easily turning defenders back.
Hmm. I think it just points to how I know for say the average sized or like average size like NBA player, more like someone that's not 6 foot 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and whatnot. You start to think, man, maybe I'm too small, maybe I'm not athletic enough, and that is the case. I mean, Pat Spencer and his brother Cam Spencer are really playing minutes here, and they're definitely not the most athletic, but it's what's in between their ears is what gets them this playing time, and just it shows what IQ can do on a basketball court, solving problems, seeing patterns, and especially with guys like Draymond and Steph as your vets, you're gonna learn a lot. So yeah, I love and Pat Spencer. I think wasn't he like a national lacrosse champion? I don't
No
know with
idea.
Western. He's just doing this. This is just another sport to him. Filet. Yeah, great players. Him and his brother.
That's a great finish. Wow. Yeah,
Mm,
but great role player. Seems like they keep eking it out with Moody, Pajensky, like Kaminga, like Warriors are constantly building like guys that can play around Steph, and now that Steph is
yeah.
back, this should be even better. So, yeah, Pat Spencer had to shout him out based on what we've seen in the past week. All
Hmm.
right, last guy, Hornets talk. Second time on the podcast. We just need to go through this action here real quick. I'm just gonna mute this here and um, just kind of highlight what's going on. So they create a screen for Brandon Miller, then a ball screen, then almost a double screen, but rejects it, turns it around for the pull up. I think it's a very interesting concept. So you look here, like at where he recovers it. Hold on, I'm gonna rewind that back real quick.
Yeah, where he catches it.
So where he catches it, left wing, you start to see
Hmm.
the off ball screen being created. Is facing him. Look at the defender's head. Okay, you got four guys watching the ball, but look at this guy. All right, when this happens, somebody needs to call out like, "Oh, the screen is doesn't really happen."
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, now all their heads are turned over here, looking directly into Brandon Miller. So it's looking like a double screen, right? Okay,
Hmm.
all right. They get through that fine. They get through the second one fine. Valanciunas is a little bit behind, so you think, okay, this might be open if you can turn the corner. But watch how quickly a defender like reads that, like and steps in front. This is no longer a great decision to make. So what does Brandon Miller do? He could go behind the back, spins off of it, and look how much of space is right in front of him. But
Yep.
look at where the defender's occupied. He's worried about this guy in the corner slash cutting baseline. Let's see what he does. He steps in the corner. Valanciunas is like, okay, 10 seconds on the shot clock. I got to worry about getting back. And he's not ready to contest his pull up jump shot.
Hmm.
If Brandon Miller wanted to continue creating this, he could have got the baseline cut for the layup.
Yeah.
But this is a great shot nonetheless. It's a great action that involves four different people either touching the ball or like getting involved in the action. So just great spacing and great ball screens to create a solid look for one of your primary playmakers.
Yep. Yep. And I think the biggest thing is it's just this. This is what I wrote down in my notes. Just this is what coaching is all about. You give your guy, you know his strengths and weaknesses, know your personnel, and you give them what they need. And I think one of the things I love there at the end is that Brandon Miller knows he can get that shot off easily, not only because he's being guarded by Jonas Valanciunas. That guy is a mountain and he can't just contest very easily. But seeing Jonas Valanciunas put that left leg crossing to try and catch up right there, and when you as the ball handler see that, that's a sign that you can pull up because there's no way from crossing your hips, like turning your hips towards the basket, that you can stop, turn your hips back, jump and contest in anywhere close to the same amount of time it takes to shoot. And it's just Brandon Miller is a professional scorer. Maybe not at the all NBA level, but at an all world level to be in the league like this. So very nice stuff there, and good
Would you
good
rather
coach.
have Cam Thomas? or Brandon Miller?
I'd rather have Brandon Miller because I see more upside there, and and he's bigger, a little taller per se. Maybe not weighs more, but something like that.
Yeah, Hornets are building something. It's slow, but they are building something,
Yeah,
and you gotta give them credit
yeah,
for finding the amount of talent that they have. Like, we'll see if they stick with it. But
yep.
that does it for the film study. Let us know what other highlights you want to see. I already saw a Dylan Harper um,
Oh,
like article. Sorry, not
mm,
article. Some highlights I want to go through for next week. So I have that on the docket. But if you got other players, let me know, and should be excited to see what players around the league are doing. So yeah.
yeah. Get thoughts.
All right.
Um,
Diego, I know you were excited to talk about this. I'm going to let you jump into the new All Star game format.
yeah. So I don't have anything to really what's it called show or share, but basically I don't know if you've heard. We have another All Star format. I don't know if this is the third in 3 years. This is for sure the second. I know last year it had changed, but now we're doing. I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago there was the whole we should do a USA versus World All Star game to get people interested. And that's what we're gonna do. But because there are more American players, there's still gonna be 24 total All Stars, 12 from each conference. But those 24 are gonna be split into world one world team of I think 8 players. Yes, that's how the math works. 8 players on a world team, and then 16 players on 2 USA teams, and they're just gonna round robin play each other each once for 3 games, right? I think so. And then whoever I think wins the most games or point differential or something like that, they play in a final. And so then you ask, well, if I have my all stars from both conferences, how are we going to get those teams? And I think the voting is still similar, but then from those 24, they're going to pick if there are, and it depends on how many American and European players there are, or not European, but world players. So, say if there's 24 players and only 7 are European, then they're going to have to take their Adam Silver's going to have to pick another, or no, I think it's only if that's for American players. So, if there's 9 world players and 15 American players, Adam Silver will have to pick another American player
Right. To
to
get
then make the 2 teams of 8. And Loki, I hope I hope that whoever votes and decides on these players makes it so that you can get these kind of free all stars. Because that's a big issue we've had so far in the past few years is man, this guy's an all star, doesn't make an all star. James Harden, Norman Powell should have been an all star last year. All this talk and if there's so much talent in the league, that's one reason why we should have some expansion. But with that, I think it's be good for whoever's choosing those teams to make sure that there's a way that the most people who can be an all star get to be an all star because I feel like there's money involved for some contracts, but yeah, I think we should just be spreading love for all these players that are just great. So yeah, I don't know what you think, Josh. I'm I am getting kind of tired of all these formats, and I think Adam Silver just wants every game to be super serious, but this is an all-star game. You play 82 games in a season, 83 if you get to the NBA Cup final. And I know that NBA sees this as kind of their flagship event of this is basketball, this is what it's all about, and they want the all-star game to be at that level, but it's not like this game isn't what it was 30 years ago when you had really great all-star games with Jordan and even maybe Kobe there at the end of the 90s. So, things have changed, and I guess the All Star game is changing, but it's kind of been a
I,
wash the past few years.
I think the thing I'll say about this is there is a mentality shift. A lot of people don't care anymore,
Yep.
like a lot of the players, because they're just it's we're kind of in a burnt out world where like you do something for so long, like you get tired of it,
Yeah.
and then you're not bought in as much. So that's just kind of the culture we're in, and the league has taken that shape. And I can tell Adam Silver's trying, but she's not getting the buy-in from the players. So my mind is almost like, how about you do a tryout among like
Yeah.
the people that want to compete in the All Star game, and like you you figure it out from there. Like you have you have people say like, oh, who's competing the hardest and whatnot, because at these tryouts, there's no stakes involved. Like
Yeah.
it's not for winning a championship. It's not for staying healthy. It's
Mhm.
it's just for making the All Star game. And
Yeah.
this is just I'm just brainstorming here, so it could be
Mhm.
just like a stupid idea. But if you're just basing it off of popularity, you're gonna get the LeBrons, you're gonna get the Stephs.
Yeah.
Like you, there should be a criteria on this. What I will say is the international players will compete because they're not just playing for an American audience.
Yeah.
If the people from their home countries want to see them play, like you're telling
Yep.
me Giannis, Jokic, like Luca are not going to compete, they're definitely going to compete. So like it's going to be one of those things where it's like from the American players, how's this going to help? Because I
Mhm.
don't think it will resolve the situation.
No.
Um, it's it's still based on player voting, man, fans and media, and then coaches picking the reserves. Like that's that's not changed. So how do we expect the actual people competing to all of a sudden start competing? I don't think it's gonna help. And I don't mean to sound like a Debbie Downer. Um, it's just you're not getting that output. So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
how do we change this to get an output? Maybe it's having the NBA Cup as
Mm.
the All Star format, where it's like you're
Yeah.
not having All Star players, but you're having like
Good teams
All Star
competing.
teams or something. Like I don't know. Like maybe you make that like the NBA Cup, where like a lot of like based on how teams perform or how people perform in the first 3 months,
Mhm. Yeah.
you can
That's a
you
good
can
idea.
perform. I don't know. It's it's a tricky format because you're already catering to the players so much by having a cup, so they're bought in at the beginning of the season, having the All Star game, and then after it's just a playoff push. Like after the All Star game, everybody's bought into that's when the real season starts. So
Yeah.
um, it's just how do you get it? Like long story short, you have to shorten the season so people feel more comfortable playing. But then at the same time, you don't want to do that because of all the lost revenue for each organization and the NBA, right?
Yep.
So it's a very difficult spot to be in because no
Yeah.
matter what you do, you got to get the players bought in.
Yep. And I love one thing I love is how just talking about this All-Star game. Now we're talking about like, man, we gotta shorten the season. This is all just so much stuff. Like it just gets to the root
It's
of
it's all related.
yep. It gets to the root of even what Adam Silver said over the summer in an interview that yeah, if you don't want to pay for all these subscriptions, you could just watch the highlights on YouTube. And it's like it just shows how yeah, the product they want the product to be good to then make more money, but it's not necessarily for the game. But anyway, my thought on that is maybe we don't need to shorten the season, but we need to add more spots, maybe more two-way spots or more minimum spots. Uh, so then you have more players able to share that load because this game is the most intense we've ever played as a society, as a basketball community, and that's why you see guys calf strains, Achilles, uh, not ruptures but tears. So yeah, it's just it's a different game. It's a different world that we live in. So yeah, but the All-Star game has changed. That's what we wanted to say. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Maybe sometime down the line we'll have like our all star players. I think for me personally, it's just far too early to
No,
make
yeah.
that decision right now. Like it's already December, but it's just 2 months into the season. I think it's too early. But
Mhm.
um, what's not too early is figuring out where Giannis is going to go. That has just been an ongoing topic
Yep.
from summertime, still lingering now. Um, Bucks are kind of struggling here and there, but um, what are some of the stuff like? What is your um, what are the landing spots you have in mind? Let's start
Yeah.
there.
I guess the first thing is I don't know if you guys remember how much I love the trade season, trade deadline. I call it my NBA Christmas because things will change and just big big things I've heard. and where they could go. A big thing for the Bucks, right? You've made all these trades. You got Drew Holiday, you got Damian Lillard in the past few years, and you had to use some picks for that. And one thing, if you're gonna trade Giannis as the Bucks, you can't just trade him for another good player. You're not gonna get as good as Giannis, I think, in a trade. What you need are draft picks, and the most valuable ones are your own draft picks, because then that gives you the key, the ticket to be able to be as bad as you want. Stink it up, tank, full tank commander, army helmet on in the tank next year, and go for it. So one of those is for the to trade with the Hawks. So you trade with the Hawks. This one from ESPN is you trade Giannis and Cole Anthony to get Trey Young and Zachary Ricochet, and then a 2026 first round pick, 27, 29, and 2031. So this is an interesting one because then you get one of those pick swaps that is related to yours. I think it's one of their picks, the Bucks, and that could be huge. And then you get a guy who could be kind of a cornerstone of the future, or at least for now, to get butts in seats, and maybe not win a bunch of games. And you trade from there. A scary one that I bet everyone's heard is to get Giannis to San Antonio, get him with Wemby, and this one is just a huge morass of Stephon Castle, Harrison Barnes, Kelly Olynyk, Jordan McLaughlin, and 3 first-round picks, and that is definitely a lot. But I think this one's even scarier just because having two of the longest guys in the league uh, and in the Western Conference is very scary. I vote not to have Giannis go in the Western Conference. Then the last one of note is another one of the Rockets, where Giannis goes there, and the Bucks get Alperen Sengun and Fred VanVleet and 1 first-round pick. And these are interesting, but I like the Hawks the most just because the East is in shambles, and if you play your cards right, you can really do something and get to the finals. And I don't know if you can challenge the Thunder, but something can happen. So just a few thoughts there. What do you think?
Giannis and KD would be nasty. That's what I think. But
Yeah,
I saw this one. I don't know if you saw the same ESPN article
yeah,
about the
that's probably what
Hawks
it is.
and the Bucks trade. You see
Mm-hmm.
that one where they
I,
had Ricochet and Young, and
yep.
it would
Yeah.
involve 4 first-round picks
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Ricochet and Young, but the Hawks would get Giannis Antetokounmpo and Cole Anthony.
Yep. That's what it
Like that's
is.
okay. I don't know if you said it before, but
No, you're
um,
good.
personally, if I'm the Hawks, I wouldn't let go of the first round
Really.
picks you have because they could, looking at the Pelicans, like it could it could be a chance to get Boozer. Like think about Boozer on that line. Like long term, that's a great deal, and obviously Giannis is a safer option.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta look at that with Jalen Johnson and be like, okay, this is we just acquired all this talent. We're doing well so far. Like I don't know if I want to make that move right now. To me, if I'm looking at any teams, I'm looking at the Miami Heat because the way
Yeah.
their style of play, they don't set many screens. Um, they have young talent. They have Jonas, Ware, and first round picks
Mm-hmm.
to send to the Bucks. The Bucks will want young talent and picks to go along with it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I I think the style of play the Heat have will be more conducive to Giannis because he can just go. He doesn't have to think. It's a screenless offense with the way they want to do like half court offense this year. It will be a perfect fit for him. And plus the culture's like he culture's right in line with how Giannis treats the game.
Yeah.
I that's where I would go if I were in Miami. I never understood the Knicks, especially after they traded for Mikal Bridges. Like how are they gonna get Giannis? They have to let go of like high price free agents, and why would Milwaukee want that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only option there with the Knicks is Milwaukee gets those guys and then instantly flips them for picks, which is possible, but a lot of work. And yeah, the Heat are definitely interesting, and the Heat have been vying for Giannis almost every single time that they've been in this situation where, or Giannis has been in this situation where he's like, oh, maybe I should leave, and the Heat are like, oh, would you like to come here? It's definitely an option, but yeah, these are very interesting. And I guess back to your Hawks point, it begins to go into this trade off of well, do we want to be good this year and trade for Giannis? He's 31, I believe, something like that.
Yeah,
But he's on the wrong side of 30. So this move isn't a win now and next year, next year, next year move. It's a win now, maybe win next year, and then 2 years from now it's gonna be a stretch. So do you want that right now success, or do you want, like you said, maybe get Cam Boozer, keep that pick and see where it goes? So these are just like in life, you can make these bets and make your decision, but you know, you got to pick one, and we'll see what some of these teams do and what the Bucks do. I think they'll respect Giannis's wishes more than anything, and I think he wants out for sure. So it'll be a hopefully a spicy trade deadline. Although last coming into this last summer, we thought it was going to be spicy too, and nothing happened. So yeah,
yeah, we shall see. All right, I want to do something a little bit new as far as like trends. I know Diego, you had talked about um, during the initial weeks of the season how defenses were kind of going into matchup zones.
yep,
And one trend I've been noticing recently, I read an article on the Athletic, and I was like, wow, this is really profound. But I want to show what this concept is. It's called tagging up rebounding. Basically, okay, I've been having issues with the timers going off in the headers. That's why you're seeing the blink all the time. But
no worries.
essentially, what it is you're having more offensive players crash the glass, and that's not a
Mhm.
trend you normally see in the league, especially dating back to the 2000s, 2010s, because the risk with crashing all of your players after you shoot a ball is like, okay,
Yeah,
I just have my defender run past me as I'm crashing, and I'm screwed if they get the ball because they could just chuck it up and they'll get easy layups and stuff like that. So how do we aggressively get second chance points if we don't have a clear advantage personnel wise in our bigs who are more likely to get rebounds? How do we get second chance points if we don't like the
yeah,
look we're creating, but when we get them, we get optimal looks? There's this thing called tagging up rebounding, and I'm gonna screen share what that looks like.
hmm,
Um, it's better with the sound on, but
yeah,
since it's not my video, I just want to kind of share what the concept is here. So basically, you have you have the defenders on the inside closest to the basket in this paint, and then you have the
mhm,
offensive players here, kind of trying to showcase this.
yeah,
Basically, when the shot goes up, the offensive players are instructed to go to the inside of the defender, but
hmm,
you're making sure you're lined up with their hips. And the reason why you do that is because one, you can turn around and run with the defender if the rebound happens to go in the opposite direction.
yeah,
Like, so let's say you're lined up on the left side of the wing and you come down to the elbow in line with the defender guarding you, but the rebound goes to the right corner or the right wing. That defender's going to take off because you're like, oh, you crept a little bit.
hmm,
But by being at his hip, you know where he's going and you could just pivot, turn, and run like a cornerback and
yeah,
fetch with him. So by tagging up, it allows you to get into rebounding positions, especially during long rebounds, like I mentioned here, with
hmm,
so many 3 point shots being taken, but it allows you to not allow easy fast breaks because you know where the opposite players are on the court. So that's just a big thing I've noticed in the league that I thought I wanted to share.
yeah,
Couple of crazy stats to point out. Um, let me try and get the article up as I'm reading this. Um, Basically, for the team that uses this the most and successfully happened to be the New York Knicks and Mike Brown.
hmm,
By tagging up rebounding, just as far as like rebounding as a team, the way you see this, they create 4.6 more scoring chances than
wow,
their opponents receive. So and no other team receives that much. And because of that, it nets them 5 points. Like that's a
yeah,
two in a basket. That's a two possession swing right
hmm,
there. So like basically like that's that's absurd. Like another absurd stat I found from this in the 2020 season, only one team offensively rebounded more than 30% of its own misses. Like you have you have teams that are like crashing the board after they shoot.
Yep.
The season after that, five teams rebounded more than 30%. This season, guess how many teams are doing it?
So let's go at 9.
Double that number and then some.
Wow.
20 teams with 22 close to 30%.
Yep.
22 teams in total, potentially.
Mhm. Wow. Yeah.
And where teams are using it is they're using the G League teams as kind of like guinea pigs. So it started with
Yep.
a guy named Paul Hanari. He
Mhm.
was he was kind of like revolutionizing Nigerian basketball teams to run this concept. And Mike Brown saw this and was like, okay, how do we create advantages offensive rebounding when we don't have it? So based on the style of play, there's a lot of NBA head coaches currently who have kind of adopted this philosophy. So um, the Grizzlies coach, Isolo, Joe
Mhm.
Mazzulla, um, like the Rockets, Ime Udoka, Jordan Ott from Phoenix, Atkinson, Darko from Toronto. Like
Yep.
it's a new philosophy that's here in the league, and for a team like the Celtics, they they absolutely dominated the Cavaliers, a team I mentioned with their head coach, by 20 points because of the style. And they're averaging 122 points per 100 possessions despite not having Porzingis this season, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, Jason Tatum.
Yep.
That is just, and they don't shoot the ball well. It's like really Brown just carrying the team, but they have a lot of scrappy rebounders that are able to do it because of this new style of play. So, like because of that combination with the 3-point style, we know this about them, and not turning the ball over. Like this is a strategy on like how they're able to keep up with other teams.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I think the Knicks is. I think teams have seen the Rockets, especially last year with the offensive rebounding. You saw the Nuggets get Jonas Valanciunas for more of that. It's a copycat league, right? You see one team do it, and everyone's like, "Oh, we should do that. We should do that." And so yeah, drives that point home. And I think the Knicks even 2 years ago or last year with Mitchell Robinson, especially in the playoffs last year, offensive rebounding is a big thing. It's something you can have in your arsenal if you have the right personnel. If you have Mitchell Robinson, Steven Adams, Jonas Valanciunas, and I think it's very interesting how we're coming back to that. Punish the team, punish your opponent for trying to run out every single time, play a bit too fast, and just get a layup. So yeah, it's a good look to see that, and especially ways to weaponize it while not getting hurt. This is innovation in basketball, and it's awesome. So good to see.
And especially if your team is not as efficient, like it's
Like
just
the Rockets.
this is a great like think about how this would be for like Steven Adams, a guy
Yeah,
like him. Like he's a big guy, like just trying to get a rebound, and suddenly you have all these smaller guards just hovering around the elbows because they're
yeah,
tagging up, and they suddenly like a feisty one just steals one and just gets a layup right off the bat. That's gotta annoy you so much. So it's basically um, a lot of teams are doing it where they're send three guys, like the Rockets send three guys, and the Grizzlies send at least like three guys
hmm
on like 15 to 18% of their shots, like
wow,
respectively. So, um, like if you're able to one send like more than half your players to the boards, but also get in transition as frequently as possible after defensive rebounds, like that's big. So basically, this is a trend to see in the league, like how this is going to influence like fast pace like play because you see the Pacers and the Bulls play at these insane rates.
hmm
This is a chance to slow the game down and um, keep up with those fast paced teams.
yep, yeah. That's there's always someone zagging if everyone else is zigging.
Alrighty, um, that will do it for us. Unless Diego, you have anybody or anything to talk about?
No, just I guess the Thunder are what 23-1, very scary. I don't know if we said this on the pod or before we recorded, but yeah, they can win a lot of games. So we'll see how that goes.
They might
Mavs,
win
Mavs
over
looking,
74 games. That's that's
yeah,
wild. But thank you guys so much for watching. Longer episode this time, almost double what we had
yeah,
last week. So a lot of important topics to talk about. We shall see how this All-Star game format works, where Giannis is going to
yeah,
go, and well, what these trends show us. But follow us at amon.a.mission on our Instagram page.
yep,
Our YouTube channel is Amon Mission Podcast. You can find our full-length videos there. Um, feel free to comment what teams do you think Giannis should be considering for, like what team should go after him. I know the Hawks recently said they're not interested
really,
in Giannis. There's just a report out there, but um,
yeah,
who knows? The price can always lower the more more people know he's on the trading block. So we shall see. But
yeah.
with that, thank you guys so much for watching. See you next week.
See ya. Peace.